Hi, everybody. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. It's Wednesday, August 27th, 2025. This is an update for the All Hazards Consortium, the sensitive information sharing environment, where we share information between private sector organizations and public organizations like private sector liaisons within emergency operations centers. Yep, they work there to help share information into the private sector to help keep the economy moving, particularly when we have impacts from tropical systems or any natural disaster. I want to show you a couple of things. We do have a couple of tropical systems out there right now. Certainly, we're all on the East Coast recovering from the impacts of Hurricane Erin along the immediate coastline. There wasn't a whole lot of impacts inland, but the beaches sure did take a pounding from that monster storm. Erin was the first Category 5 hurricane of the 2025 season. Matter of fact, it was the first hurricane of the 2025 season. Well, this is the GOES satellite image, and I want to show you what's going on. This is some very fair weather, some almost fall-like weather that has settled in over the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, even down towards the south a little bit. It's cooler, kind of window opening sort of weather. Very, very nice. Still hot down in Florida. But if we look all the way over here, look at that little swirl. That is Tropical Storm Fernand. Fernand developed behind Erin and moved, recurved up way out into the ocean. As a matter of fact, way east of Bermuda, which was great news. It still kicked up the waves in Bermuda and also added to some of the swell along the East Coast. And I'll show you some of those beach tides where we still have some minor rip currents out there and some advisories, but I'll show you that here in just a moment. Let me switch over, and I'll switch over to full screen mode here so you can see what's going on with Fernand. It's a very small tropical system. Look at the sea surface temperature data that I have turned on here from the GOES East satellite. These are cold waters right here in the blue and the green. Look at this. Fernand is now moving from the warmer water into the colder water, pretty much of the northern Atlantic, and it doesn't have much for this world left. I think it's really going to peter out pretty quickly. Let me show you some of the statistics. I'll move Fernand over here so you can see what's going on. Tropical storm as of 5 o'clock, so just a few minutes ago from the National Hurricane Center, Fernand is expected to become post-tropical on Thursday. So tomorrow we should see the swirl continue, but just the dynamics inside this system, it's really transitioning to post-tropical. Almost the same as extratropical as well. That's what we had with Erin when Erin went way up to the north there, maintained its large wind field. I'm going to show you a comparison here in just a minute of the two wind fields. It's pretty amazing. But let's take a look here. Located 39.3 north, 47.4 west. That's about 585 miles southeast of Cape Race, Newfoundland. Maximum sustained winds 50 miles per hour at 5 o'clock. Minimum central pressure 1,006 millibars, and movement is east-northeast at 15 miles per hour. That's about where most tropical systems move, in that direction and around that speed or higher. When they get up to the northern latitudes there, they get caught in the westerlies. The jet stream really wants to just whisk them right away. And keep your eyes out. Scotland, Ireland, UK. Fernand may be headed your way. I know you've been dealing with the remnants of what we called Erin, certainly with a lot of big waves on the Icelandic coast as well. Next advisory, 11 o'clock, and it looks like that will probably be the last advisory when Fernand is expected to become post-tropical, but they might have yet another one. So that is Fernand. And while we're on tropical systems, let's take a look at what it looks like over in off of Africa, because we are looking at some tropical waves, and I'm going to zoom down here way off the coast of Africa here, there are two tropical waves. Remember how we can better get a look at those tropical waves? That's by going to the EUMETSAT satellite. That's a European satellite. Let's go over there and show you what it looks like. Here it is. And so it's nighttime in Africa, and you can see that terminator line going right across Cabo Verde Islands there off of Africa. This is tropical wave number 1. This is tropical wave number 2. Actually, it might be reversed. This might be number 1 and that might be number 2. They're moving off the coast. The thing is they're going to have quite a bit of a challenge here. I'll zoom out just a little bit. They're going to have a challenge here because there is a lot of dry air and Saharan dust that's going to be impacting these systems, and the models don't really do much to them at all. Matter of fact, the Hurricane Center doesn't really have much of a chance right now for any of these to develop into a tropical system. So that is great news. See all the way over here on the horizon from the standpoint of the Meteosat 10 satellite, which is in geosynchronous orbit, just like our GOES satellite system here, but it serves all of Europe and Africa. Does a tremendous job. Boy, they're terrific satellites. You can see the Lesser Antilles here and Barbados right there. Nothing but fair weather is going to be around you for the next 7 days. So that is great news. Let's switch back over to our GOES satellite in the tropics here, just so I can show you what it looks like a little bit further to the west. Here are the Lesser Antilles, just a few scattered showers, storms. Look here in Puerto Rico. I'll zoom in here just a little bit. That might slow the loop from loading up here, but some showers and storms developing, orographic lift from northerly winds coming and developing in Puerto Rico. And you can see those cirrus clouds blowing right off the top of those thunderstorms. That's pretty amazing. And also in the Dominican Republic and Haiti, some scattered showers and thunderstorms there. Looks like St. Croix and St. Thomas. You guys are fine, as well as the British Virgin Islands. And over here towards Jamaica, here is Jamaica. It looks like some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Not really of the tropical variety. Of course, it is tropical weather down there, but there's no big storm kicking these off. These are just some daytime thunderstorms that typically pop up. Now, here is a weak tropical wave. This is one that's moving across Central America, and we're going to have to watch this one here. This is the one that passed through the Lesser Antilles a few days ago. Really, had a couple of showers and thunderstorms around with it. You probably felt it there in the islands, but maybe some gusty winds, but it really never developed. This is the one that the Hurricane Center was watching to see if it might develop into something, and had a 10% chance before. But this one is going to be moving across Central America here and southern Mexico. And once it emerges into the Pacific, we may have a tropical system that finally develops here. We do have one that looks like it's trying to develop, and the National Hurricane Center is watching that one as well. And we also have this one over here. This one is Tropical Storm Juliet. Tropical Storm Juliet, and I'm going to switch over to the GOES West satellite here so we can show you what Juliet looks like from the standpoint of GOES West. There it is. Not a whole lot of showers and thunderstorms with it. Let's get some statistics on Juliet. Here we go. As of 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, so that's 3 p.m. Eastern, or 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, just a few minutes ago, Juliet continues to weaken, located 23.9 north, 120.2 west, about 655 miles west of the southern tip of Baja California. And if you don't know where the Baja California is, there it is. Cabo right there is right there at the tip of Baja California. Maximum sustained winds 45 miles per hour. Minimum central pressure, look at that, 1,006 millibars, just like Fernand, moving north-northwest. at 14 miles per hour. So it's moving in this direction here. Next advisory at 11 o'clock Eastern or 8 o'clock Pacific time. So that's what it looks like for Juliet. Not really much of a storm out there, but it was kicking up some waves that were breaking on shore from Cabo San Lucas all the way up to Baja California, all the way up this peninsula here, generating some long wave swells. This system down here is one that the National Hurricane Center is watching, and we'll be watching it as well with GeoCollaborate for sure. And I want to show you where Juliet is located on GeoCollaborate. Let's go over to full screen GeoCollaborate here. There we are. And look, the wind field is very small in Juliet. That's where it kind of formed and moved up. Expected to become a tropical depression in the next day or two as it moves in to the colder waters of the Pacific. And that's typically what happens. But eventually, some of the low-level moisture may make it up into Southern California, which would be welcome because it's awful hot out there. And it's also wildfire season as well. So lots of wildfires popping up there. We'll talk about those during our next update in the next couple of days. Okay, here are two areas in the Eastern Pacific that the National Hurricane Center is watching. This one here has the best chance of developing, and if we take it right back to where that X is, I can show you the satellite loop, and here is where that system is. This is the one that's drifting over this way, and they do expect it to develop, well, at least a 60% chance of developing over the next 7 days in this area of the Pacific. So the Hurricane Center is also watching this area here, the tropical wave that I just talked about over the next 7 days, moving into this area and perhaps developing in this yellow area right here. So we'll be watching these areas in the Pacific. We certainly like them to stay out to sea, but they also are a threat to marine traffic and commerce. That's why we pay attention to that. Now I'm going to move GeoCollaborate over here towards Hawaii because the Central Pacific Hurricane Center is also watching this area for potential development. And that is something that we'll keep our eyes on. And I'm going to move this over and show you what it looks like on the satellite picture, which is just south of Hawaii. So here's the X right here where the central, where the low is right now. And then as it moves in this area, it is forecast, not a big percentage, large percentage, but 20% chance that something might develop here over the next 2 days and 7 days. So the probability is pretty low, but it is not zero. And here's what it looks like on the satellite picture around Hawaii. So you might say, where is Hawaii? Here is Hawaii right here. And there's where this low pressure system is right now that they're watching that may develop. Here's another swirl here that never really developed into a tropical depression or tropical storm. So that really had no thunderstorms growing around it. This one may have a little bit better opportunity to develop. And we're watching this one over here as well. So we'll see if the National Weather Service, the Central Pacific Hurricane Center located in Honolulu, may want to watch this one as well. So a little bit of excitement south of Hawaii, but well south. They're not even probably big enough swirls to generate much of a swell coming from the south. Okay, so I want to jump back here for a second and show you Fernand. You know how small Fernand was looking on the satellite picture, and that's something that I wanted to show you in comparison here to the size of Fernand to what the size of Erin was in its wind field. So once again on the satellite picture, here is Fernand swirling around over the cooler waters now of the North Atlantic. And here's what it looks like on GeoCollaborate. This is the wind field. If you can see that through here, this is the wind field right in here. But look how this, as this data updates in real time here, look how small this is. And I'm going to turn on the initial wind field for Hurricane Erin when it was up in the north. So let's take a look at that here in just a second. Here we go. Look at that. This is how large Erin was with its wind field when it was in this part of the ocean versus this wind field right here in Fernand. What a difference. And tropical systems can take on all forms and sizes and all that sort of stuff, with wind fields being stronger on one side or another. Erin was very concentric, very organized. Fernand, not so much. Most of the winds are to the eastern edge, eastern side of the storm, and it's moving out. But what a difference. That's why Erin had such a large impact on the United States, the east coast of the United States, when it was moving up this way. And Fernand only became a tropical storm and remained east of Bermuda. Still generated some waves, and yes, those waves are providing lots and lots of concern for the East Coast. Now, there's a lot of recovery happening from beach erosion and all that stuff, but I do want to show you what the tides look like. Let's take a look real quick out in Ocean City, Maryland. You can see this, the little red mark there, rip current risk. It's there, but it's lower. This is one of the first days where the rip current risk has been low. So that's not zero. You really have to be very careful as well. What about Virginia Beach? Virginia Beach still has a moderate rip current risk today. And some of those swells are coming from Fernand, and still the ocean is churned up a little bit from Erin as well. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Beautiful weather there. How about just to the north there in Bethany Beach, Delaware? As you can see, the live camera behind it, people are packing up on the beaches, but at least they're on the beaches, and that's a good thing. At least beach erosion did occur, but at least people are able to get back on the beach as we approach Labor Day weekend. Rip current risk today low, and Thursday low, 1 to 2 foot surf. So it's much calmer there in Bethany Beach, Delaware than it was last week when Hurricane Erin came up the coast. Boy, that was really quite impactful. One more stop just up to the north, Cape May, New Jersey. They still are dealing with moderate rip current risks because the beach was somewhat changed there because of Erin's strong and pounding surf. Moderate rip current risk there, 2 to 3 foot seas in the surf today and tomorrow. And there are the tides there on the right-hand side. One other thing I wanted to show you with regard to ocean observations, and we really had some terrific observations with those wave drifter buoys that were dropped from the RV Cape Hatteras and those students from UNC Wilmington. Look where the drifters are right now. These got caught up in the Gulf Stream, and these buoys, let's zoom into them just a little bit, are off the coast of Virginia and Maryland right now. And look at these water temperatures, 83 degrees, and the seas, significant wave height, almost 4 feet for that one. This one a little bit closer to North Carolina, almost 82 degrees in the sea surface temperature, and the waves are 4.2 feet. Look at some of these, though. These were dropped and went to the south, so right off the coast of Charleston, 83 degree water, and the waves 3.2 feet. That's the significant wave height. So these observations are going to continue to pour in as these buoys drift. These wave drifters move with the currents, and these moving in the Gulf Stream. Very, very valuable observations here. These are Argo floats that go up and down in the ocean. We can see when the last report was on the 19th. Next report is going to be on the 29th. So on Friday, this buoy is going to come up. This float is going to come up to the surface and beam observations back so we can see what the profile of the ocean looks like. And here's some gliders. Boy, we have some information for you on gliders here coming up. These gliders are going up and down in the ocean, and they're taking profiles. And look at these that are coming north into the Atlantic and south into the Caribbean from Puerto Rico. New one was deployed here that's going around the Dominican Republic in this area. And then the one that was deployed in Barbados that is now currently down here taking measurements up and down that column of water. Salinity, temperature, all that stuff is very important in understanding what the ocean does a little bit more. As a matter of fact, we use all kinds of ocean observation platforms to better understand what's happening in the ocean. And it's such a data sparse place. I mean, look at this, the sea surface temperature anomaly data. Let me show you this. This is really quite cool. This is sea surface temperature anomaly data. And what do you notice? Look at that blue area to the east of the Bahamas. What is that? That is upwelling from Hurricane Erin when Erin moved over that part of the ocean. It had such strong winds, wasn't moving very quickly. Remember, 9, 10, 11 miles per hour. Then it accelerated a little bit to 12 and 13 and 14. But it upwelled enough cool temperatures in the ocean. It is showing up in this sea surface temperature anomaly chart. I'll widen out a little bit. Look at that. That is all the way up the East Coast, cooler water. It's off the East Coast, but that's the path that Hurricane Erin took. So it is really quite amazing. All this is visible because Erin cooled the ocean because of its size and intensity. Well, ocean gliders are a very important tool in our toolbox to improve hurricane intensity and forecasts. Here's why. In 2023, the winds in Hurricane Otis increased 115 miles per hour in just over 24 hours. It went from a weak tropical storm to a Category 5 beast with 165 mile per hour winds, slamming into Acapulco and causing billions of dollars in damage. It was the most extreme case of rapid intensification ever observed. One reason Hurricane Otis rapidly intensified is that it passed over extremely warm ocean waters near the coast. This provided the fuel for the catastrophe to come. We just observed another instance of extreme rapid intensification. On Friday, August 15th, Hurricane Erin was a Cat 1 with sustained winds of 75 miles per hour. 24 hours later, Erin was a monster Category 5 hurricane with top wind speeds of 160 miles per hour. Abnormally high ocean temperatures again helped fuel Erin's astonishing strength. People wonder why Erin's extreme rapid intensification came as a surprise. Rapid intensification is difficult to forecast because of the complexity of factors involved and because most of our ocean temperature data comes from satellite, and that only tells us the temperature at the very surface. That's where undersea gliders come in. As a part of the Integrated Ocean Observing System, or IOOS, scientists are deploying a series of gliders in the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf to help forecast hurricane intensity. Let's chat with our ocean expert, Dr. Ellen Prager, for some more insight.
Hey, Dave, you're right. Warm ocean water can indeed be the super fuel for rapid intensification. But it's not just the surface. The warm water, at least 80 degrees, has to go down to 100 feet or more, up to about 160 feet to actually be able to power up these storms. To take the ocean's temperature below the surface, scientists are deploying autonomous underwater vehicles, or AUVs. They can be programmed before they're deployed and then launched off a ship or off of land, off a dock. They can measure different parameters like temperature in particular, and then they connect on the surface to a satellite and send their data back to scientists on shore. The data can then be used in modeling and forecasts and make it much more accurate when it comes to intensity forecasting.
We can see a bunch of gliders out there right now in GeoCollaborate. I think of them as our underwater ocean intelligence gatherers. See the yellow lines in the ocean? That's the path that gliders have taken to collect measurements that are critical to better understanding the profile of the ocean.
Yeah, taking the ocean's temperature below the surface, it's pretty challenging. These gliders have to be in the right place at the right time, especially when we're talking hurricanes, when they're developing and when they're threatening. But this is really a big step forward being able to take subsurface temperatures and then integrate them into the forecasts and models. It's all part of the Integrated Ocean Observing System, and they're pretty cool.
Learn more about gliders and how they help improve hurricane forecasts and to see where they are right now, check out the comments section in this video. I'll pin it to the top so it's easy to find. Thanks a lot, Ellen.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
And to the forecast right now, it looks like a pretty quiet week around the country, but I did want to point out one thing here with Tropical Storm Juliet. You can see it there in the lower left-hand corner. So here's the western part of the U.S., and I want to put this into motion because some of the moisture you can see from Tropical Storm Juliet may make it into Southern California. We'll have to be watching that because it's been very dry, and some of these rain showers could produce some localized flooding. We're talking here about Thursday night, so tomorrow night into Friday morning. It'll dry out pretty quick, but there is a chance of some rain. Some of those showers could be heavy at times. And then as we continue on, it looks like some of that moisture will get picked up into a low pressure system and create some scattered showers and storms, perhaps in Texas by Saturday and into the weekend. The rest of the country, high pressure is really going to dominate over the Great Lakes. It's going to give the east and the northeast some very fall-like temperatures, very comfortable. Sorry, Florida, you're still going to be quite hot with a chance of afternoon and evening thunderstorms. Jacksonville looks like just some scattered storms, nothing really to worry about. No tropical systems are going to be bothering the United States over the next 7 days. Just the remnants of Juliet in California is what we'll have to watch out for. But as we advance this on, we just see some showers and storms perhaps gathering around the Gulf Coast, and that's late Monday into Tuesday morning next week. So that's it for this update. I'm Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. If you like this video, please click the like button there underneath the video. It really does help get more word out about these briefings and about all this science that we're talking about. And please click the subscribe button as well if you are not already subscribed to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be back again with another update in the next day or two. Rest assured, no tropical systems are going to be bothering the continental United States, bothering the Caribbean islands here over the next 7 days. We'll keep you posted, though. Thanks so much for watching.